Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Shemel Shai Bahashim Kodash Double Honish, the apostles and other bishops of GMS, even the elders again before them, and told us it's true. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers who are pushing the word of truth and its sincerity, the hopeful light tabernacle of David, and brother Yashua, the brother slash elder. It's a WW3 Daily update. Shalom and salutations to you all. 2nd Ezra 13 and 29 in the GNT. See that? 2nd Ezra 13:29. We have to pick up from here. This means that the time is near when the Most High will begin to free the people on earth, the prisoners. At that time, everyone will be close to panic. They will begin to make war against one another. City against city, region against region, nation against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay? When that happens, the signs I told you about earlier will take place, and then I will reveal my son, whom you saw as a man coming out of the sea. Judge Napolitano, Judging Freedom 2 hours ago, Larry Johnson, Ukraine is losing. Read that again real quick. They will begin to make war against one another. Well, let's see. Ukraine is losing that war against one another.
Hi, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Today is Monday, July 28th, 2025. It's good to be back here at work again, and it's a delight to be here with my longtime friend and collaborator, Larry Johnson. Larry, a pleasure, my dear friend. Thank you.
Man, you can't believe
today.
You can't believe the emails I was getting saying, "Where's the judge?
Yeah.
Is he okay?"
I did.
Yeah, no, he's fine. He's doing the vacation.
I was approached by a lady in a hotel in Berlin who said, "Just
this time Friday."
Can we get to the news, gentlemen, please? Slocky, bear with me.
Who said, Judge Napolitano, nice to see you. Please give my regards to Larry Johnson." So, regards from this unnamed fan. Before we get to Ukraine, there are so many other things we have to talk about, not the least of which are the Tulsi Gabbard revelations.
Sure.
And the latest international recognition, I think, of the depravity of the behavior of the Israeli government vis-a-vis Gaza. But let's start with Gabbard.
Okay, I'm going to try to skip over Gabbard because that's dealing with Trump. I want to get to the war. Bear with me.
Really? I mean, 1,200 people compared to your claim of 6 million people. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. And then you respond by that by bombing, killing, and starving women and children to the tune of well over 60,000. The number's probably much higher because the official Palestinian account doesn't total up the people that are buried under rubble or whose bodies have been disintegrated.
And yet, the person who sits next to Donald Trump in his golf cart and whispers into his ear while they're playing golf wants a full-fledged invasion of Gaza. Watch this. Chris, cut number 5.
I think Israel's come to conclude that they can't achieve a goal of ending the war with Hamas that would be satisfactory to the safety of Israel, and that they're going to do in Gaza what we did in Tokyo and Berlin, take the place by force, then start over again, presenting a better future for the Palestinians, hopefully having the Arabs take over the West Bank and Gaza. But I think going forward, Christian, you're going to see a change in tactics, a full military effort by Israel to take Gaza down like we did in Tokyo and Berlin.
That's huge. I want to get to Russia. Let's see. Not Marjorie. She's trying to clean the air.
No, and she won't be getting a nicer office on Capitol Hill because she surely got under the skin of Mike Johnson and the others. Let's move on to
Russia.
Ukraine. Are negotiations still going on? And if they are, what are they going to accomplish?
Nothing. I mean, they had I'll call it a pro forma meeting last week in Istanbul, where, the meeting lasted 34 minutes. Nobody even had time to let their coffee get cold. And this came about because the United States pressured Ukraine to go to the meeting. And, Russia said, hey, we're always happy to meet and discuss, but, the discussion boiled down to, we're going to give you back 3,000 bodies, and you're going to turn over five dead Russians, basically.
Okay, so Ukraine is losing. They're in the meat grinder and getting ground down. So let's take a quick look at this. What Danny's saying over here. This is live, so
leaders in Niger really taking it toward the direction of sovereignty, and this has angered French. And
look at Danny, got Jake all up on here. Okay, and these fools don't know nothing about the truth.
The rest of the European Union, and I just wanted your assessment on what the remarks David gave and what you've learned in your travel.
Well, the 10 toes are going to hate the whore and burn her with fire.
Continent. And what's happening overall in this process, all across the world, and the U.S.'s role.
I think David's remarks are very insightful. I think that calculation is part of the reasoning for the surrendering of the EU to the U.S. I guess my initial analysis was that even though the logic of that is quite clear, one wonders again, looking at the objective interests of the European bourgeoisie, why they would have to allow themselves to be so fundamentally undermined by the U.S. That even
I'll tell you why. Okay, and that's all we'll do on that. Why is the EU appear to be capitulating? Right? Let's get this first. Let's get a burn her with fire. Start here, right? Revelation 7:16, Revelation 17:16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, he shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay, so that's them doing the actual deed, burning her, shooting them missiles over here. But let's get the setup. Let's get the see, because there's a setup. They're only appearing to look like it's a trap. They're laying a wound.
Undermined by
listen to what he's saying.
Why they would have to allow themselves to be so fundamentally undermined by the U.S. that even if they wanted to reaffirm a strategic objective to maintain some degree of influence on the African continent, did it really require that they commit themselves to something like $700 billion in purchasing U.S. energy, the shakedown of $600 billion dollars investment in the U.S. economy, and that's on top of the other shakedown that occurred, which is basically to get the Europeans to commit to 3.5% or 5%, depending how one looks at this, in terms of their GNP toward collective defense, if you will.
See what's going on here. Have laid a wound under thee. Let's examine this. your allies, Babylon or Esau. All your allies will force you to the border. Your friends will deceive, and overpower you. Here's what's going on. Those who eat your bread will set a trap for you, but you will not detect it. So they don't even know that they're being plotted on, right? In the NLT, Obadiah 1 and 7. All your allies will turn against you, United States. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace, right? How much money did you want? While plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it. And these people don't know what we already foresee. Listen.
By the U.S. That even if they wanted to reaffirm a strategic objective
for Europe in particular on the African continent. You were just in Kenya, and of course, on the other side, in the Sahel, we've seen the rise of Ibrahim Traore and leaders in Mali and Niger, really moving towards sovereignty. And this has, as David said, been a real big blemish and problem for the French in particular, but really the entire West is not only having difficulties in Africa, but really the entire world. What do you make of this process that is happening in the U.S.'s role in it?
Here's what's going on. Everybody has agreed to move towards the New World Order, but there are additional plans to stab each other in the back.
I actually lost the first part of your question. I don't know if it was me, but I lost connection.
That's all right. I was just I was talking about how the West, especially France, overall, you were just in Kenya, the other side, in the Sahel, in Burkina Faso, with Ibrahim Traore, Mali, leaders in Niger, really taking it toward the direction of sovereignty, and this has angered the French and really the rest of the European Union.
And we all have one world currency, a digital currency, and we're forming the New World Order under everybody's nose. But scalawags.
And I just wanted your assessment on what the remarks David gave and what you've learned in your travels to the continent and what's happening overall in this process all across the world and the U.S.'s role.
They're setting each other up.
I think David's remarks are very insightful. I think that calculation is part of the reason for the surrendering of the EU to the U.S. I guess my initial analysis was that even though the logic of that is quite clear, one wonders again, looking at the objective interests of the European bourgeoisie, why they would have to allow themselves to be so fundamentally undermined by the U.S. That even if they wanted to reaffirm a strategic objective to maintain some degree of influence on the African continent, did it really require that they commit themselves to something like $700 billion in purchasing U.S. energy, the shakedown of $600 billion dollars investment in the U.S. economy?
Yeah, they're laying a snare. Okay. All the men by the Confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound, a snare under thee. There is none understanding in thee. What is that snare? Okay. Set traps. Set a trap. You don't know. It's a trap. It's a ambush. Who deceived you? Set a trap. Set a trap. laid a wound, lay a trap, set an ambush, right? Set an ambush. Set a hostile ambush, right? Trap. Lay a snare. There's the snare. Shall lay a snare under thee. That's what I was looking for. Will trick and trap. Lay a snare. Set traps. Lay a trap. Lay out a trap. Set an ambush. Lay a snare. Laid a wound. Overpower. Deceive and overpower. Set a trap. Salak. Snare. Snare drum. Rim shot. They set thy bread a snare under thee. Lay snares, plural. Place snares. Replace you with foreigners. Set a trap. Get it? Laid an ambush. Laid a snare. Lay a snare. Okay? That's what's going on. So they don't know. Right? I don't know what it is. It's called double cross. The double cross. Anyway, with that, right? Yeah. Keep our eye on this. We're seeing the 12 toes come back and do what they did. The 10 toes, Salakia. With that, we hope the elect ratified your brother, a few sisters.